Well, as we mentioned, record-setting heat in the valley has made our region the first in California to reach triple digits this year. Since the typical high this time of year is in the 80s, doctors are concerned that some people here may not be prepared to deal with the heat. I spoke today with Dr. Andrew Casanova, the director of the emergency department at JFK Memorial Hospital. All right, Dr. Casanova, first off, how concerned are doctors right now about this heat?
Well, I think that, whenever the weather changes suddenly, we get concerned because it takes time for people to acclimate to weather changes. So especially we have this all the time here in the Valley because we have people visiting from all over the country. They're not used to the heat. Even in the summer, we have people coming in. But for us, this was a sudden change. So for everyone in the Valley, I think it's concerning and we have to be careful.
What are some of the signs that people need to be on the lookout for heat exhaustion and heat stroke?
Well, it's a spectrum of things, and obviously we can all recognize when someone passes out, from the heat. You don't need me to tell you that that's an emergency, but you can feel a little bit dizzy. You can start to feel confused. You can you can get cramps. So one of the earliest signs of a heat illness would be cramps because you're losing salt from sweating. So you get muscle cramps. You can feel heat exhaustion, which is you feel very fatigued from it. You feel like you might pass out. So kind of things like that. But it's a spectrum from the mildest of cramps all the way till not knowing where you are, in a coma, on the floor, passed out. So we really want to be quite careful.
And is it as simple as just find a cool place to go and get hydrated? What do people need to do?
So I think it in the early stages, it certainly is as simple as that. If you're feeling cramped, you're out playing pickleball, you're out playing tennis, you're out playing golf, you get some cramps, certainly get out of the sun, get into a shaded area, put some cool towels on, drink a electrolyte drink, whether it's a sports drink or a water-based drink. But do those things and get into a cool environment if you can, into an air-conditioned environment, and things should clear up. Now, as you get to the more severe things, if you pass out, if you don't know where you are, then you call 911 and still help that person out by putting some cool towels on them, maybe taking off their if they're wearing heavy garments, take that off and try and cool them down.
I'm curious, even though we live in a desert where obviously heat is a regular part of life, are you surprised when you see people coming in suffering from heat exhaustion, and how common is it?
So it's extremely common here. I mean, we see it really daily in the emergency department, especially in the summer when we get into those, 110s, 120 degree heats. So the other thing that makes it kind of common is we do have an older population here of visitors, and they're on medications. So besides that, they're older and they can't always process the heat as well as a younger person. They may be on heart medications for blood pressure, for diabetes, and all those things interfere with your ability to kind of manage the heat. We also have a lot of people coming here for vacation, so there's a lot of alcohol, and alcohol also can interfere with your ability to manage the heat, but also interfere with your ability to recognize that you're getting hot and getting overheated because you're maybe getting a little tipsy, having fun, and you don't recognize that you're out in the sun in the pool. And so we really got to watch out for each other when we're, having these spring breakers and people in town with that, because alcohol and, other drugs can sort of interfere with your ability to recognize that you might be getting heat stroke.
Certainly some important advice. Dr. Casanova, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.